Not be allowed to travel to tonight's awards ceremony to accept any awards. It's.
Shall we move on to 2015?
Yes. Best fan creation. Portal Stories Mel. What?
Oh, that was the short film.
Oh, right. I vaguely remember this.
No, it wasn't. It was a mod. Shit. I don't know what
It was
this
a mod?
I don't know what any of this is.
This is from Wikipedia. It's like a single-player mod.
Can you believe that 2015 was 7 years ago?
But it was only 5 years ago. Trending gamer Greg Miller, and now he gets all the presenting jobs for the rest of time because he was the trending gamer.
He also did not come out as a massive racist or a misogynist afterwards, which is, in terms of the trending gamer category, is really quite something.
Mostly everyone here is alright. There's that Bridge guy again.
I don't know who that is. PewDiePie?
Bridges. I don't have anything else to say but Bridges. Esports Game of the Year, who cares? Why would you put Call of Duty why does Call of Duty get nominated? This gets replaced every year.
Most anticipated game is No Man's Sky, which is hilarious.
That is hilarious. It would get released the next year, wouldn't it? Wait, Uncharted 4's here again. Man, it was there last time. Asgardian, but that came back. That's like the return of the king.
Back from the grave. Oh, actually, never mind No Man's Sky, Quantum Break.
Oh, God. Okay, Quantum Break was disappointing and stupid, but it wasn't flat out broken like No Man's Sky. But No Man's Sky is good now, so that's fine, I guess.
Quantum Break will be bad forever.
Quantum Break will be bad forever. At what point do you turn off the servers that streams the TV show to people? At what point do you do that? At what point does Quantum Break lose 90% of its story?
Can you download the episodes?
No, I think you have to stream them.
Splatoon won Best Multiplayer, and that's good because Splatoon is quite fun.
It was good. It's better than everything else on this list. Rocket League came out this year as well, so it's going to win a bunch of awards, whatever. Best family game. I don't care about sports and racing.
Super Mario Maker always looked very cute.
Yeah. It did. It's apparently very good and people have a lot of good time with it. Sure, why not? Best family game. Splatoon should have won.
Yeah, I agree. Best fighting game again. Fighting games are for losers.
What the hell are some of the... Okay, Guilty Gear, sure. Rise of Incarnates? Yep. Free-to-play fighting game from Bandai Namco? Rising Thunder? Rising Thunder was cancelled. It was released in an alpha state in 2015, then the game closed when Riot bought the studio. The screenshot also looks terrible, like on the Rising Thunder page. It looks like Rock'em Sock'em Robots in Unreal 4.
Best role-playing game.
Witcher 3 won, which I suppose out of all of these games, it is definitely a role-playing game.
Yes. Is Undertale a role-playing game?
I mean, it's hard to tell because it's like the JRPG versus RPG thing, and it's like hard to like really get between them. Undertale was never going to win though. Undertale was never going to win against Bloodborne, against Witcher 3. Oh god, Fallout 4 was the same year as Witcher 3. How embarrassing.
Same year as Bloodborne. Pillars of Eternity is
boring.
I'm
Go on.
I'm very happy that the CRPG fans were able to get Pillars of Eternity, and I'm sure it's very exciting for them and no one else.
Best action adventure. Wow, MGS5 won. I didn't realize that the Konami boot camp like manipulation stuff was still going on by the Game Awards. No, here's the thing. We know why this is here. And that's because Jeff loves his Kojima. And we did get that great moment where it wins an award and Kojima was not allowed to come, and Jeff calls out Konami personally and everyone boos him.
He was informed by a lawyer representing Konami just recently that he would not be allowed to travel to tonight's awards ceremony to accept any awards.
It's disappointing. It's like a low point for me in like the numbered Metal Gear Solid games, but I'm also looking at the competition. Assassin's Creed Syndicate? What? Arkham Knight, I think, is like more disappointing than the Phantom Pain. And Rise of the Tomb Raider is a stupid game in which you meet Jesus.
So the gameplay loop of Rise of the Tomb Raider is quite satisfying for about 6 hours.
No, it's not.
But it is. I enjoyed it. You can't tell me I didn't enjoy it.
No, because here's the thing. The primary gameplay loop of Rise of the Tomb Raider is not meant to be going around picking up all the collectibles in a wide open area. The game wants you to like go forward linearly, go through all its like intricately made set pieces. Gotta hear Lara keep saying, I've got to do this, I've got to go over here, I've got to revenge my father's legacy. I'm a strong, independent woman who's still tied down by a dead man.
Counter argument. Rise of the Tomb Raider looks like a glowing bastion of game design compared to Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
Maybe. But even so, this is not like a strong lineup of action-adventure games.
No. Batman Arkham Knight is so disappointing, I cannot muster the energy with which to speak of it.
I can at least say MGS5 is a something. Arkham Knight is kind of a nothing. Best shooter, Splatoon, yes.
That's fucking great.
I don't think anything else needs to be said. Look, Battlefront comes out, Halo 5 comes out, Destiny's going to expansion, Black Ops is like putting up its guns, and you get beaten by the kid squid paintball game.
Games for Impact. So this is just a strange category in general.
What's Life is Strange?
Life is Strange, yeah. So Sunset, I think, is a game that is deeply trying to be meaningful, but completely misunderstands what it's trying to be and what it's trying to communicate, and therefore it becomes harmful.
That's the game that should have been a short film instead of a video game, and then they were very annoyed that people would not buy their artsy video game in droves. You can't expect all of the Call of Duty players to come and hear you musing on philosophy books.
And they don't muse particularly insightfully. And I think they fail to fundamentally understand some of the finer points of what they're trying to tackle, which is revolution and violence-inspired revolution. And it glosses over a lot of things that are very important, and it's just a very naive portrayal of what they're trying to create. And it feels very sophomoric. And it's the same studio that made The Path, which is infamously sort of a de jour indie game trying to be meaningful. And then they made The Graveyard, which is a indie game that tries to be meaningful. Undertale is a much more progressive game than a lot of people give it credit for. The problem is it gets dismissed for being Tumblr, which I don't agree with.
I think we've calmed down now. I think we're finally able to calm down and say, yes, Undertale is good. We have separated itself from the more rabid fans on certain sections of the internet. And I think everyone's able to come together and say, you know what, Undertale was good. As much as we still meme sans Undertale.
I know. I don't even have much of a problem with the more rabid fans. Sort of, to me, Undertale's an example where it gets shit because it's a bunch of queer teenagers trying to figure out their identity and they're maybe a bit too enthusiastic. But Life is Strange is a bunch of 20, 30-year-old white people who are trying to reconnect with a part of them that died long ago. So I don't really see why one should be given less shit over the other.
Kill your lesbians. Undertale's like, no, befriend your lesbians, and then be lesbians with your lesbians.
Yeah.
Best performance.
I haven't played Her Story.
No, me neither. I'm sure she's pretty good. She won an award for it.
Camilla Luddington as Lara Croft is a choice.
Yeah. Ashley Birch is a good actress, but I would not call her Chloe Price thing great. And it's not necessarily her fault. I think that voice direction in that game is terrible. No one sounds quite right. Everyone sounds like they are, like, talking to a wall. Yeah, Doug Cockle, that's like the glow up of like all time, where he goes from like how he was in The Witcher 1 to just the most lovable like protagonist imaginable in The Witcher 3.
And I think what he does is actually quite unique in that he has to have little peaks and troughs of emotion that are very nimbly and subtly expressed because his character is already so sullen, which a lot of these performances are much more immediately showy.
Yeah. Mark Hamill's Joker, the Joker is the only good part of that game and he shouldn't even be in it.
Best score soundtrack is an interesting category in which it's almost entirely wrong.
All right, we'll tackle the big one, the big winner in a second, but like Ori and the Blind Forest is exactly what you think it is. I'm not going to say it's necessarily bad just for being that, but it doesn't really do much for me personally. Halo 5 Guardians, I've literally heard no one talk about the soundtrack to that. Witcher 3's got a great soundtrack, and I'll stand by that. I'll stand by that. I think that is like the most deserving of a win here. Fallout 4 has one memorable piece of soundtrack, and that's when the Brotherhood of Steel arrive, and there's like the big blimp above you, and like, oh, this is actually a really cool moment. There's nothing else in the game that's good. And I'm not going to count the licensed soundtrack, because like most of it's from Fallout 3. The most you got is that, what's her name? The one who did the End of the World song in that game? Rita? Rita something? It's not Rita Ora, is it? Isn't that a modern musician?
I can't help you, I'm sorry.
It's not Rita Ora is in fact a modern musician. Rita Skeeter! No. Rita Skeeter's from fucking Harry Potter.
Oh my god.
Skeeter Davis! Yes, that's it. Yeah. However, it goes against Fallout's like nature to have that in there because Fallout is very 50s, and that's from the song from the 60s. So well done, you screwed everything up. I'm of course being facetious.
The broader problem is that neither Undertale nor Bloodborne
yeah
on this list.
Yeah, Bloodborne and Undertale soundtracks are like absolutely incredible. You still recognize Undertale's soundtrack years later. The fact that like Sans Undertale is part of a meme, right? And all you have to do is play the first 4 notes of Megalovania and everyone knows it. Which is more than I can say for the soundtrack to MGS5, which I can't remember a single song from it.
No.
I genuinely cannot. The only song I can remember from MGS5 in general is from Ground Zeroes, which is not The Phantom Pain. And even then it's mostly brr, 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 brr.
MGS5 has a very disappointing soundtrack on top of being a very disappointing game.
It is. Still somehow better than Arkham Knight.
Yes.
At least MGS5... I suppose actually there's the fireman is kind of the of the game, but at least it's not like the front box art.
I have had more inclinations to replay Arkham Knight than I have MGS5.
That's because Arkham Knight's only like, what, 30 hours at most, while MGS5 is 700. I'll say MGS5 got better gameplay. Like, the gameplay core of MGS5 is perfect. It is like the best MGS like game in terms of its core gameplay. I wish like parts of it were used more, but man, that core is great. I'm glad that Kojima just like learned all the lessons from it and made Death Stranding. we took our stealth game and we made it just for walking, and it turns out that was the right thing to do.
Okay, best art direction.
Yes, best art direction. It of course already won. And then my audio broke. Like, all my audio. Like, more than just this episode. Like, we'd done multiple episodes, 4 or 5 hours worth of audio just dead. That sucks. Channel update soon.